Howdy, 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 back at it again. Today's video is going to focus on some of Marisa's corner combo enders, which ones to choose, which ones are best for how much drive gauge investment and whatnot. If you like this type of content, if you want to see more of it, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it in year 3, and I'd really appreciate your support. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm really going to focus on this heavy Dima situation, and we'll take a look. So, meterlessly, there are a couple options. So the damage option is going to be chargeback, heavy punch, heavy gladius. That is going to do the most damage out of anything that you can pick. Okay, just the way it is. If you want a safe jump instead, you can do chargeback, heavy punch into light Superman punch. Loses 50 damage, but you see plus 42, gives us a safe jump. If you want a safe jump, but you're bad at the input or you play on modern, you can do charged, heavy punch, for the same meterless safe jump. So really, in the corner, you should either be thinking damage, safe jump on classic, safe jump on modern. And those are really one of the 3 options you should be picking if you're not going to spend any drive gauge. What if we do want to spend drive gauge? Well, I'm glad you asked. So if you do want to spend drive gauge, that is where charge, crouch, heavy punch comes into play. So if you want to spend 1 bar, you can do this into drive rush back, heavy punch, heavy gladius, right? That's if you want to go into level 3 and you want to cancel it, because that's 3702. But you can also do drive rush back, heavy punch into medium Superman punch for the same amount of damage and a safe jump. So if you're not planning on canceling this gladius, go into the Superman punch. If you are canceling into level 3, obviously go into the gladius, okay? She doesn't have any unique 2-bar routes. If you plan on spending 3 bars, that is where you want to do this OD Superman, and then there's a couple different follow-ups we can look at from there. So the max damage thing we can do, oh my goodness, is going to be command grab for 4,059 damage, right? But that's only plus 18. The Oki's not that good. So if you want better Oki, you can do charge towards heavy kick into heavy gladius. Why am I doing towards heavy kick instead of back heavy punch? It builds more meter. So you can sort of take a look at where my bar is there versus where my bar is here, and you'll see I do in fact build more super gauge or super meter with the charge towards heavy kick. So if you're trying to spend 3 bars and you're like, okay, I just want a little bit of extra damage and I don't want to do the command grab because it gives off or gives up my Oki, there's your route. For 4 bars, she can extend from here as well with another charge, crouch, heavy punch, and then just like the 1-bar route, she goes into drive rush back, heavy punch, heavy gladius, or drive rush back, heavy punch into medium Superman punch. Once again, same amount of damage. You're just deciding, do I want to be able to cancel in level 3 or do I want to safe jump? 5-bar, just like 2-bar, she doesn't really have anything that she can do. For cash outs, though, she can do this and then just drive rush cancel that. So charge, boom, cancel this into a charge back heavy punch and then into heavy gladius. Okay, and that is going to be her optimal meter dump from her heavy Dima. The combos from OD Dima, the routes, the options are exactly the same. Okay, so max meterless still here, safe jump still there, or still here, right? Doesn't matter. Her extensions here are still exactly the same. There's no combo that she could do off of heavy Dima that she can't do here, just because you're left with a sliver of drive gauge, so you can still do even the 6-bar route. That being said, if you know that you're going to do a meter dump before you start the combo, right? So if you land something like this, right? Charge back heavy punch into back heavy punch. There is no reason to do this because you can confirm and convert unless you're on modern. You can confirm and convert into OD quadriga combos, and those will always do more damage. So, and it's not insignificant. If I start with just 1 back heavy punch, that's about 500 more damage than I was getting from the meter dump with the heavy Dima combos. And honestly, even if you aren't sure, if you're like, well, I might spend some of it, even that is still comparable damage, and I only spent 5 bars instead of all 6. So you can sort of see, hey, if I know I'm going to invest before the combo starts, I should do a drive rush cancel into like an OD Quadriga, just because that's going to net me much more damage if I decide to spend it all. Now, let's talk very quickly, very briefly about DI wall splat combos. So if you have no meter to spend, you go into Heavy Dema, and then the routes look pretty much like what we just looked at. Okay? However, if you do this Heavy Dema thing, you should really only go for one of the meterless routes that we looked at, right? Whether that's, whether that's the safe jump or the Gladius or what. And the reason for that is the scaling falls off really hard afterwards. So you'll see if I do something like this, whoops, and I drive rush off of it, that barely adds any damage at all, right? That was 2584 versus my meterless option was 2448. So like, it's like 100 damage. It's not good. Usually you want to get like 300 per drive bar invested. So if you're going to spend drive gauge, you want to spend it early before the scaling kicks in. So the general rule of thumb is if you have the meter to spend and you want to spend the meter, you do towards knee or towards heavy kick into OD phalanx, okay? And then our options are really similar to what we were looking at before. Damage-wise, we can do command grab, and that is the best thing we can do. But if we just care about ability to cancel, or we don't want to give up extra Oki, we can do charge towards heavy kick into heavy Gladius. If you're looking to cash out, I do believe that this, so it's charge back heavy punch, target combo into medium Gladius, and that's just because of the scaling and how the DI works on the wall splat. That was really quick. Hopefully you found it helpful. As always, have a good time.